dealing with the 2007 Nissan Altima. This just came for a diagnosis for lean condition. Let me see if I can actually get this pulled up here. Never met this guy a day of my life. This was a referral from the parts store. 232,267 miles on this thing. This is the code we got. Show yourself. Let's see. I think it was a P0171. As a matter of fact, let's start this joker up. Yeah. All right, yeah, P0171. Let's look at the freeze frame data. And based off the freeze frame data, open loop fault, because we got fuel trim problems. Closed loop on bank 1. Fuel system status on A. A should be bank 1. I was wrong. Bank 2. Short term, bank 2, long term. So bank 2 was the main primary affected one. And we were at 10% long term, adding 25% on short term initial compensation. 0 miles per hour. So it happens at idle, 5.9% throttle. Closed loop. Okay. Open loop fault. What's that fuel system A? I thought A and B. Maybe it's just the overall lean condition, but I swear to you, P0171 is for bank 1. But bank 2 is showing a problem. This is me not looking up code setting criteria. So I know it's a lean code. Start up and look at some live data. All right, so let me just run through this real quick. When I get other mechanics and shops and stuff that have like lean issues, usually what happens, they change the mass airflow sensor or something that has some sort of major influence, map sensor, oxygen sensors. Then they're not looking at the data stuff. So we have a code, we have a freeze frame, we know generally what a P0171 is. Overall, there's an overall system issue with the lean bank. Something is causing the O2 sensors to register lean. All right, potentially on just one bank, but we're gonna look at both banks because we have fuel trim data. This is the generic function of a scan tool. You can access this information through most scan tools or scan devices that have live data. We don't have to do any conversion right now because the only thing we're looking at is long term and short term. Right now, it is a little high on the long term. This is the vehicle's necessity to make long-term accommodations. So this like, hey, I need to add 10% of fuel. And the general rule of thumb is we need it closest to 0. It's adding 10%. If we was rich, it would be taking away 10%. But right now, it's detecting a lean condition. So unaccounted for air, whether we have a vacuum leak or whether we have mass airflow issues, there's a lean condition. It's too much oxygen during the combustion process at the final result that is detecting it at the oxygen sensor. So we need to figure out what's going on. Let's go through here. So our short term is adding 10%. We could look at oxygen sensor information because I think this car has oxygen sensors. I don't think it's new enough to have air-fuel ratio sensors, but let's just give it some gas. Oh, one more thing. Let's look at the mass airflow. Intake air temp sensors, okay. There's our oxygen sensors. There's bank 1. So we got O2 sensors, not air-fuel ratio sensors. Our downstream bank 1 sensor 2 is low and lean. Bank 2 sensor 1 is a little elevated, but it has reached a place of complacency. Nope. Let's go. Where's that downstream? Okay, so both our downstreams are lean, and I don't have mass airflow pulled up. I gotta find that joker, and I probably overlooked it one too many. Here we go. So let's get these vital pieces of information. Reasons being, well, we need to know the initial reading from the upstream sensors, and we need to know the downstream, because that will tell on the upstream depending on what we observe. So the downstream is our truth teller. It's stuck down and on oxygen sensor low is lean. 0.28 is quite a bit of oxygen stored in those catalytic converters. Let's look at, this is bank 2 sensor 1. This one is slightly elevated and it's not fluctuating. So whatever compensation or accommodation it's trying to make is steady. It's supposed to be oscillating or passing through 0.45 volts. Let's do a conversion for this for grams per second so it's easy to read. Now, unlike the last vehicle that we were dealing with, this has a 3.5 displacement. We're idling at we're idling high, 900 RPM. Technically this value is low for the RPM we're dealing with. Where's our RPM? We're 1,000 RPM and we should be making the displacement, which is 3.5 grams per second at 500. So just kind of double that. We should be making around 7 grams per second, just the approximation. And we're only making 4.28, which will create a lean condition. Let's give it gas and see if it clears up. So our short-term fuel trims starts to go negative, and we are canceling out that positive 10. They're starting to drop. So we're dealing with a vacuum leak. We have a high idle. The fuel trims begin to diverge from where they are on short term when we give it RPM. So we need to be looking for a vacuum leak. Let's see if we can find out where it's coming from, see what's obvious, and go from there, because there's nothing else to be touched because our fuel trims went the opposite direction when we gave it throttle. So to add the mass airflow, if that was bad, it would have stayed lean all through across the board, but it's not. Let's just look for a vacuum leak. So already got the hood up and I can hear air whizzing. Look at our short terms, they went to 25%. They're pegged out and the idle went up. Right there we go. That didn't take long at all. There's our leak. Let's see if our data changes. Hold on. I got my finger blocking it off. Damn, it's hot. Hold on 1 second. Go up here. All right, let's see where our fuel trims start to go. So this is a pretty big vacuum leak. I would like for it to idle down below 1,000 and get close to 8. Maybe we got another vacuum leak somewhere. Our mass airflow. Yeah, let me take that hose off and actually block it and see if it goes correct. If not, then we obviously got another vacuum leak somewhere. Just looking at all the other hoses, they're dry rot. How bad that looks. Dry rotted hose here. Probably need to take all the covers off and look at everything that has vacuum supplied to it. Oh wow, there's another one. So not only did we have one vacuum leak. No. I don't know if I did. I don't think I did that from pulling the cover off. Because it was back, it was a leak under there. Look at all these hoses. Everything looks brittle. This is a vacuum switching valve. And she's broken. So let's plug up one leak and we'll plug up both leaks. Let's just pull this crap off. See if it drops idle now. It's still a little high, but our fuel trims start to drop. Maybe the idle needs to be relearned. Or maybe we got more vacuum leaks. Let me block that off too. Let's just block everything off that we see. So our fuel trims went normal now since I blocked those two things off. They're below 10. Long term on 1 dropped to 7. Long term on 2 dropped to 4. We're fine. We just have an idle air issue. So I need to force an idle relearn, and after I fix the vacuum leaks, and then reassess. But let me get the rest of that hose off. We know we need a vacuum switching valve here. I don't know where that go. Does it control this controls the runner. I don't know if this controls like a active motor mount or something. I don't know. But it's broken. I mean, it needs to be replaced. So I could probably run to the junkyard and get that. Oh wow! Our fuel trims actually went negative now, so they're taking away -5 and -9. So we're swinging the other way for some strange reason. Shucks. I hope we don't. Maybe it just needs to accommodate. I need to get it idling normal before I really give a crap about those negative fuel trims right now. Hold on one second. Let me go into the bi-directional portion. I did not know the temperature was 200 and something degrees. What the hell? I did not know. I did not see that. Oh my goodness. I don't know how long has the car been running hot, like overheating like that. And that's, hold on. Is it legitimately 262 degrees? Because this thing should have been like blown up by now. I didn't know. Let me see if there's coolant in here. Damn. Oh wow. There's no coolant in here. Oh my goodness gracious. It came in for a vacuum leak, like a lean condition, not for overheating. This explains why the cap is off. This explains the new radiator cap. Right. This is crazy. There's the problem. Seriously, man. Come on. I'm just gonna throw some water in here and see what happens. You know, that could have been a reason why it was running rich. If the temperature is not 180 and is regulated properly, it'll cause some enrichment issues. I think I got the idle fixed. I had to clean the throttle body because it would not do a self-learn. Let me escape out. So it's fine now. So I went to throttle. So I wound up going to self-learning, continue engine in the throttle location in hot function. And let's let this load up. This function allows self-learning control value to be cleared. Improper uses of this function may cause poor drivability while ECM self-learning is complete. So I wound up clearing the idle. Just push start. Okay, command finish. And then I'll exit out. Let me start the car up. It's idling fine now. It's idling okay. And then I went into idle volume learn after I cleared it. So that's why it didn't work initially. But again, I had to clean the throttle body out, because whatever, all that carbon that was on there, it trust me, it needed it. Sorry I didn't show that. It's just like any other throttle body cleaning. I did use brake cleaner like always and open the throttle plate. So I went through in here and then hit continue and start, and then it started. It actually, like right now, it's dropping the idle and it's starting to stabilize. Being that the idle's fixed, I sat in the car about 5 minutes and let the car idle. It's fine right now, and haven't had any hiccups or issues. So we're idling normal. I just need to go and make sure that our fuel trims are perfectly fine, and if they are, just replace those hoses and move on with life. Unfortunately, I was trying to make this a free diagnosis, not literally free, he has to pay for it, but making it do I ain't have to buy anything. The only thing I got to buy some hoses, and that's what, like $15 if that. Let's go to live data, because when I first got the car, I could hear that it had it like a hiss. I knew I was checking for vacuum leaks, and he came by, looked at some data. I'm like, yeah, checking for vacuum leaks. Look at those long terms, those are beautiful, those are perfect. Damn, those are good. Short term is amazing. That code that we had before is fixed. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let them know about the vacuum switching valve, but I don't think that goes anywhere particular. That's important. As long as it don't go to the intake runner, we're fine. So I'm gonna take that vacuum line, reroute it back into the other portion, into itself, and then we'll get a vacuum line, and this is gonna be 100% fixed. Back from O'Reilly's, I wound up getting the neck for this, so the customers want to go ahead and fix that. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna take this vacuum line here and just reroute this, so we're not, I do have to let them know what the plan is. This is broken anyway, but because of the importance of this component, I don't think it's really that important. So we're just gonna run this back into itself. I just gotta let them know this doesn't measure any sort of vacuum. It's just the actuator, depending on the driving conditions. I still haven't yet. I think it goes to just the active mount, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it's just not gonna be important. It's not going to the runner, which is vital. And wherever this is, I think this is probably going to another active mount somewhere. Maybe this runner here. Actually, let me see. Yeah, so this solenoid goes to this runner. This one goes to this runner here, so we're fine. This goes in the back somewhere, and there's some vacuum lines going down to the mount. So we're good. I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's go and replace this hose. I got the hose off. I have a new one here. This is the hose. This is a straight piece of 3/8. I just got some zip ties on each end, and it is able to make that bend. So we're putting that on there. Here's the OEM hose. This is what we were seeing. This is what we were hearing. Look at that split. Look like my ex-wife, kind of. Yeah, it's that kind of situation. Yeah, she's gaping. All right, let's make this happen. Get this hose on there. I got some dielectric grease, so it'll slide on pretty easily. with minimal tension. That's what it is. Slide this on the PCV hose. There we go. So I have to force it on there a little bit. There we go. Slid all the way on there, so we're in good shape. So we got the vacuum leaks fixed. We have that vacuum leak. We got that rerouted, and I'm just going to replace this. This is simple. It's the filler neck. I have a little bit of antifreeze, so I'll top it off. I mean, I didn't charge them a lot of money for this because it's not going to take long. That was actually the customer calling, so I didn't charge them that much. So I was going to just run this basic stuff on here. Call it, dang, just a little bit of this water. That drizzle and drill. I didn't see was me off camera looking for a 10 millimeter, and I know I put it down somewhere. But evidently it developed heat and walked off. So I don't know where it is. So that's that. This is where it was leaking from, right there. I got water getting on the floor. Y'all know I frequently patronize O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Bittersweet relationship. Here's the part number 902-5938. It's a Dorman. Some people have their personal perceptions on it. Me, on the other hand, I need it to work. And if it don't work, well, I'm gonna file some labor claims. Get my money. Come on here. Let me go back in the exact same spot. We're there. Did I? Oh, type the wrong thing. Here we go. And then cool. I'll top this off with antifreeze. I'm not sure where his top is for that, and then we'll. So the oil level's fine, and then we'll start it up and let it do its thing. I'm gonna let this run, build up pressure, and then I'm just gonna recheck those common areas for leaks, usually because if the hose is old, the band clamp is weak, then it'll leak out a little bit around the edges. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. All right, it's been running for a few minutes. We have a recommended amount of pressure in the cooling system. I mean, I can feel it. It's about 12. I said 14. About 12 psi. I only don't have a top, and I'm just gonna put that rag in there. I did say I was gonna. Dilute that coolant in there. Here's the thing: the system has majority water in it, and a little bit of antifreeze that I had in there. So I'm just gonna let that ride out. He didn't pay for all that. I just put the coolant on in there. It's got some lubrication in it to prevent some sort of rust, and whatever mixes in there and decides to continuously interchange in the infinite loop will get hopefully mixed with the coolant inside the engine. So we're fine with that. Hey, look, this car's running great. We saw the fuel trims. It's working out really well. The car came in running like crap. Coolant leaks, vacuum leaks, lean codes, and it got fixed. So it's going to leave running amazingly. So I'm excited. Like I was telling you a while ago, jobs tend to come in clusters. And I dealt with a couple fuel trim issues in the past 2 weeks. And this is just another one. Hey, look, if anything happened, I'll definitely update. But hit the link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, how to work some work. See you next one.